We begin with a promise, the idea of meritocracy. It's the belief that anyone, regardless of background, can succeed through talent and effort. This vision shapes our hopes and justifies our institutions. We celebrate stories of students, entrepreneurs, and workers who rise through hard work. Their success reassures us that the system is fair. It comforts the successful. I earned this. It motivates the struggling. If I work harder, I can succeed. This promise of upward mobility is the glue of our society. It encourages competition, innovation, and personal responsibility. We're told the world is a fair race and our destiny is in our hands. But what if this promise is a myth? What if some start miles ahead while others are held back by invisible weights? Is the dream of meritocracy still alive, or just a story we tell ourselves? Today, we must confront whether the race is truly fair. We must ask, are we really the authors of our own success stories? The myth of meritocracy unravels when we examine the starting line. Most wealth isn't self-made, it's inherited, passed quietly from one generation to the next. Imagine two children, one born into wealth, the other into poverty. The first enjoys a safety net, connections, and opportunities. The second faces obstacles at every turn. They're not starting at the same line, one is halfway to the finish. Privilege isn't just about money, it's about what money buys. Better neighborhoods, tutors, and networks. The child of wealth inherits opportunity. The child of poverty inherits barriers. The race is rigged from the start, yet we celebrate the winners as if the field were level. The greatest predictor of your future wealth, your parents' wealth. We can't call it a fair race when some get a head start and others are left behind. The unseen inheritance of wealth and social capital means, for many, the race is already run. The idea that merit alone determines success is a comforting illusion. This is the first great injustice the myth of meritocracy conceals. We must face this truth if we want real fairness. Education is supposed to be the great equalizer. The promise a hard-working student can climb the ladder no matter their background, but in reality, education mirrors and magnifies inequality. On one track, elite private schools and wealthy public schools with small classes, top teachers, and endless resources. These schools are pipelines to top universities and prestigious careers. On the other track, underfunded public schools, crowded classrooms, and outdated materials. Here, students struggle just to keep up, let alone compete. The ladder isn't just steeper, it's often broken. Education, far from leveling the field, now reproduces inequality. It sorts children early, shaping their futures by their parents' income. When access to quality education depends on wealth, social mobility stalls. The two tracks don't lead to the same destination. One leads to the penthouse, the other to a life of struggle. The dream of equal opportunity fades as education becomes a tool for social stratification. The promise of meritocracy falters at the schoolhouse door. Inheritance and education are just parts of a larger system that preserves privilege. Where you live shapes your school, safety, and services. Wealthy families buy into better neighborhoods, while the poor are left with less. Wages for most have stagnated, while the rich grow richer and taxes on wealth shrink. Ordinary workers struggle to save or invest for the next generation. As the wealthy retreat into private enclaves, public services decay, leaving the rest behind. The social safety net is shredded, making families more vulnerable. All these pieces form a closed loop. Your starting point shapes your education, job, and where your children will start. This isn't a system of mobility, it's a machine for immobility. The trap is set to keep most people exactly where they are. Hard work was once the fuel for upward mobility, but for many it's no longer about climbing, it's about surviving. Millions work multiple jobs, long hours, and still struggle to get by. They're not lazy, they're exhausted. Despite relentless effort, they're stuck on a treadmill, running faster just to stay in place. The link between effort and reward is broken. A single job no longer guarantees security or a better future. Working hard without reward erodes dignity and hope. The narrative of personal responsibility becomes a tool for blame. If you're struggling, it's seen as your fault, not the system's. But the truth is, many work harder than ever just to survive. Their hard work is a testament to their desperation, not their ambition. The promise of meritocracy rings hollow for those left behind. When the promise of meritocracy is exposed as false, trust in society fractures. People see the system as rigged and the social contract breaks down. The myth breeds resentment, not hope. Those left behind see privilege, not merit at the top. They watch the elite glide into power while their own children struggle. This fuels anger, populism, and a rejection of institutions. Meanwhile, the winners believe their success is solely earned, fostering arrogance and entitlement. They look down on those who struggle, deepening the divide. The result, a society at war with itself, losing its sense of shared fate. Politics becomes us versus them. Trust and empathy erode. The social fabric unravels as we retreat into tribes. The promise of meritocracy was meant to unite us. Its failure has left us divided and suspicious. This crisis isn't unique to one country, it's global. Across continents, a small elite pulls away while the middle class is squeezed and the poor are left behind. The dream of mobility is fading everywhere, replaced by entrenched inequality. Stagnant wages for most, soaring incomes for the few, and an educational divide are now global patterns. In cities worldwide, the children of the wealthy inherit every advantage. The rest face shrinking opportunities. Even in developing nations, new forms of inherited privilege are emerging. The ladder of opportunity is being pulled up behind the elite. Globalization and technology have concentrated wealth and created a global aristocracy. The elite share more with each other than with their own countrymen. The story of meritocracy's failure is now told in every language. We've seen how the promise of meritocracy has become a myth. The starting line is unequal, education divides, and the system traps people in place. Hard work is no longer a path to progress, but a struggle for survival. The result, a fractured society, paralyzed politics, and a global chasm between the privileged and everyone else. This is more than an economic problem. It's a moral and spiritual crisis. The myth breeds arrogance and anxiety among the winners, shame and despair among the rest. It erodes dignity, hope, and faith in society. When citizens are told their worth depends solely on success, the soul of society suffers. We must ask, is this global pattern a sickness of the soul? We've built a world efficient at creating wealth, but poor at sharing it or building community. The diagnosis is clear. The question is, do we have the courage to seek a cure?